Our next guest says she's not going anywhere.
Friends may come and then they go, but there's one thing you should know: I'm not going anywhere.
She's shared the stage with Loretta Lynn, has written songs for countless legends, and even has her own oil paintings in Oprah's home. But most impressive, she's in her 17th year as a breast cancer survivor. Kelly Lang, welcome to Wake Up America this morning.
Good morning, and it is really early for me. You look so amazing. I don't know how you do it.
Oh, it takes a village, Kelly, but you look amazing as well, and we thank you for joining us. I know you detail your journey in your new autobiography with the same title as your song, I'm Not Going Anywhere, that we were just playing. Can you tell us a little bit about that book?
This book is a labor of love. A friend of mine named Kim Fannin was challenging me after she knew that I had cleaned out my garage and ran into some scrap paper that I had written down notes when I had been diagnosed several years earlier. And she said, you know, Kelly, I think it would make a good book. I think it would inspire people, not only with how far you have gone into the music industry, but when they see how far you have come from having a dark sentence, like a death sentence of breast cancer, and I turned it into a life sentence. And I chose those encouraging words to make a beautiful, hopefully a storyline that people can see encouragement and hope, and maybe I can be a light at the end of their tunnel to see that there is somebody that can really make it through that kind of thing.
Kelly, there's so much focus this Breast Cancer Awareness Month over the language we're using when it comes to breast cancer and cancers of all kinds. You just briefly said you're taking a death sentence and making it a life sentence. People are talking about how it's not necessarily a war, it's a journey. They want to be able to express that you can overcome and be on the other side of breast cancer, as you are a living example of that. How does it feel? I know Ascension Hospital is launching a national campaign with your song to know that you are, in fact, comforting those millions of people in need.
Well, it's really humbling. I wrote the song so many months before I was diagnosed myself, and I needed to hear those comforting words as well. So all of these years later, when Ascension chose a song of mine that had been written so long before for their Ascension hospitals, then the pandemic hit. And then we really were focused on how amazing the doctors and nurses and caregivers were. It's so incredible to be part of a small part of a much bigger picture. And I must say, Dame Olivia Newton-John, who is a fellow breast cancer survivor, wrote the foreword for our book. And I'm just so grateful to have her as a light for me, that I can look ahead and see, how are you coping with this? Because it is a journey. It's just because you have been told you were in remission, it always looms. You know, I've got to get my mammogram this week, and it's something that's always over your head. And I think the thing that I like to get across in my book is that it is a journey, and everyone has scars. Everyone has something they wish that they didn't have to go through. But if you can just change your attitude and make it not your death sentence, but your life sentence, and do it with gratitude and love on other people, take the focus off of yourself, and use humor to get through such terrible things. It really helped me a lot to just turn on a funny comedy when things seemed rough, and it changed my whole perspective. And I like to teach people how I got through it with a good attitude. Attitude of gratitude is what they say.
Your attitude is so inspirational, Kelly, and I know that you not only just talk about it, you do the work. You take your fans along with you to that mammogram that you said you have to do. And that's a very personal space. And a lot of things, for whatever reason, men and women that go get checked don't like to talk about so much. So why is it that you chose to do that and clearly encourage others to go get theirs as well?
Well, you know, it would be, I was like that for a long time. I did not choose to talk about it. I just wanted it behind me. I didn't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to get it over with. It was a nuisance to me. But I just felt after all of these years, wow, I didn't know if I would live this long. I had no earthly idea that the doctor even said she was concerned I wouldn't live past 40, you know. So every year that went by, I felt a little bit more selfish by not sharing the tools that have helped me. I know not everybody has the same end to their situation, and for that I feel a little remorse that I was able to scathe by a little bit better, but I really did promise God that if he would allow me to survive this, I would do my best to be a ray of hope and help others through it. And through this book and through the song, hopefully somebody will have heard the words or maybe been inspired by my story and be able to be healed.
And what a beautiful outlook. And you said you were being selfish, but clearly that selflessness of making sure everyone is so on board with taking care of their own health and walking them through that. I think a lot of times it does take people, like you said, Olivia Newton-John is inspiration for you, and you being that inspiration for so many, knowing that people are all the same when it comes to cancer. No one gets a better end of the stick when it comes to who can actually get cancer. We thank you so much, Kelly Lang, for joining us.
I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. All right.